In this lesson, we are going to cover 20 useful vocab terms for recount prompts. First, we'll look at useful nouns. Experience is number one. This is probably the most useful word for recount prompts because they're all about personal experiences. So, experience means to live through something or a set of moments that you have lived through. And it's both a noun and a verb. So I experienced a lot of happiness in my childhood. That is experience as a verb. We also have it as a noun. Studying for the entrance exams was an intense experience. Lesson. This means something learned. Although the experience was difficult, it taught me many valuable lessons. Or, I learned a lot of important lessons in my first job after university. Moment. This means a specific period in your life. Receiving the award for Best Research Moment was one of the most important moments in my life. The birth of my sister was an unforgettable moment for our family. Comfort zone. This means what we are comfortable doing. The experience pushed me out of my comfort zone. Through this experience, I expanded my comfort zone. Next, we'll look at useful adjectives for experience. And by the way, we have a PDF printout with all the vocab that we cover in this lesson, which you can find down below. So be sure to download that so that you can refer to it as you are going through practice questions to really master this vocab. All right, useful adjectives for experience. So these are nice adjectives that you can pair with experience. Challenging. This means difficult. Climbing Mount Everest is a challenging experience. Rewarding. This means providing satisfaction. Although climbing Mount Everest was challenging, it was rewarding as well. So you can see here that many of these vocab terms work well together. So challenging and rewarding can often be paired in a sentence. Beneficial. This means had benefits. Although going on a diet was a challenging experience, it was ultimately beneficial for my health. Enriching. This means beneficial, a synonym. Learning a second language can be an enriching experience. So on the DET, you will get points for using a diversity of vocabulary. So you should avoid repeating words like beneficial. Try to learn synonyms for very useful words like that so that you can gain some points. Unforgettable. This means so great that you can't forget it. Traveling to Athens and seeing the Acropolis was an unforgettable experience. Transformative. This means it completely changed you. Learning a new language and studying abroad in Cameroon was a transformative experience. Next, let's look at transition words that are useful when telling a story. First I woke up. Then, we went to the park. Then we went to the restaurant. We drove to the grocery store. Then we bought groceries. First I woke up. Then I brushed my teeth. Next. First I woke up. Next I brushed my teeth. So next and then are very close synonyms. After that. First I woke up. After that I brushed my teeth. So after that, next, and then are all close synonyms, and all these words are useful for talking about events that happen one after another. Here are some more transition words that you can use in your reflection. As a result. I decided to go out with my friends. As a result, I didn't study for the test and I got a bad grade. Ultimately, this means in the end. So, there were a lot of options for our summer vacation. Ultimately, we decided to go to San Juan, Puerto Rico. So, at the end of a process, ultimately is a nice way to indicate the conclusion or the outcome of that process. I loved to read when I was young. Ultimately, I decided to study literature in university. In retrospect, this means looking back. I did poorly on the exam. In retrospect, I should have studied more. So in my opinion, in retrospect is especially useful for recount prompts because it makes clear that you are looking back and reflecting on that experience. Although the experience was certainly very challenging, in retrospect, it taught me a lot and I'm a better person because of it. And finally, here are some useful phrases. This experience taught me that. So this experience taught me that I needed to prepare better for important exams. Since I went through that experience, I have been more careful with investing money. Compared to before, I am more or less. Compared to before, I am more serious about my studies. So these three phrases are great for the reflection in particular to show how it changed you. So these three phrases are especially great for the reflection because they allow you to communicate how the experience changed you. All right, let's quickly go over the vocab that we looked at. So experience, lesson, moment, comfort zone, challenging, rewarding, beneficial, enriching, unforgettable, transformative, then, first, next, after that, as a result, ultimately, in retrospect, this experience taught me that, since I went through that experience I have, and compared to before, I am more or less. Again, we have a PDF printout with this vocab down below that you can reference as you study.